All right, we are back. Put the kids to sleep, grab your beer mugs, and tell your wife to shut the front door. There's a draft. If you could just close that, that would be great. And listen in, we are back for round 22. The Hop. What's up, guys? What's up, Steven? What's up, world?
What's up? I'm excited to get into it today. We got round 22. We got New Belgium Brewing, which we've been dodging around for a while, so I'm excited to get into that. And I'm thirsty, so let's grab a drink. Yeah.
I want it on record we took a shot before this because we both had hell of a days, and so we needed it. So, yeah, here we are.
But we took shots, and we're loose in here for you guys. And you know what? Nothing makes my day better than speaking to our listeners about beer while I drink beer. So,
I could think of a couple other things. I'm just kidding.
I'm excited to get into it. New Belgium Brewing. Great brewery out of Colorado, one that's been on the scene forever. That's not true. But, since
more or less.
They've been on the scene since they were on the scene. Let's jump into the news before we do that. And we have to kick things off with something I think we all saw coming, but the Great American Beer Festival has officially been canceled for 2020.
Damn.
Well, it's being moved online. Yeah. There's still things going on, but for the first time in the festival's nearly 40-year history, the Brewers Association has decided to cancel the in-person portion of the 2020 Great American Beer Festival. It was slated to take place in September 24th to September 26th in Denver, where it usually does. The immersive online experience will now be October 16 to 17. So the event typically draws around 60,000 beer drinkers to the Colorado Convention Center. The Colorado Convention Center, the governor this past week deemed that site, they designated it as an alternate care facility for COVID patients. So, yeah, that's out. We can't go there anymore.
Damn it.
It's only being designated as a COVID facility till the end of this month, but someone at the Brewers Association wisely was like, yeah, maybe
we shouldn't.
Maybe not. The beer competition portion of the Great American Beer Festival, gold medal, silver medal, the medals they give out for beer, that is going on as scheduled. Registration is open on June 9th for breweries, and winners will be announced virtually on October 16th. This does represent a hit both for the Brewers Association, who gets a huge portion of their revenue from not only the Great American Beer Festival, but other beer festivals that have also been canceled, but also just for the city of Denver. The 2019 Great American Beer Festival did generate about $35.3 million in economic revenue. So,
Jesus.
Yeah, so that's a hit for them, especially since people are not going to be traveling, staying in hotels, all of that stuff, spending their money in Denver. But the Brewers Association does plan to offer a similar experience to other online festivals. So more details on that will be announced August 1st.
And can I just say the Great American Beer Festival, GABF, every time I see that, I think it's GABE. So I feel like this article's yelling at me. This marks the first cancellation of its kind for Gabe. And while we are disappointed, I'm like, whoa, but it's not.
I had the same thought as I was writing this up a few times. I was like, why is oh, right. Gap.
Yeah, you thought I was screwing with you.
On the positive side, though, I couldn't go to the Great American Beer Festival this year or last year. I've never been. It's always been a goal, but I can't go.
We should go.
And now it's on the internet, and my internet works. I can't make it to Denver in October, but you know what I will have in October? Internet, unless something goes really wrong or I don't pay my bills.
Yourself.
But yeah, so there will be a version of the Great American Beer Festival, just not the normal one. If you're interested, though, in researching this story, I did come across the schedule for Great American Beer Festival 2021, 2022, and 2023. So if anyone out there is planning their September plans for 2023, You can block out those dates now if you so desire.
Moving right along, Shipyard is heading to Florida. Orlando, Florida-based Brew Theory Brewery has reached a licensing agreement with Portland, Maine headquartered Shipyard to produce and sell the company's stock and products in the good old Sunshine State. Shipyard's CEO, his name is Fred Forsley, views the deal as an investment in the state rather than, Shipyard abandoning one of its oldest markets. He's just trying to push for a bigger market and better market, especially since the craft beer scene in Florida is starting to grow, if not skyrocket. It's kind of everywhere. The founder of Brew Theory, his name is Jeremy Roberts, founded Brew Theory in 2018 after starting Orange County Brewers in 2017, and they can provide the Shipyard brand with 23,000 barrels of annual capacity. And Shipyard currently sells about 8,000 barrels in Florida per year. So it's kind of helping both sides of the coin. But yeah, we've got a partnership. And for those of you down in Florida, you can now get Shipyard.
So they're contract brewing down there.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a great way to spread your
sow
seed.
your oats. Spread your seed. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Beer Board, the leader in technology and data for the hospitality industry, announced that they are launching Beer Pages, which is a program they've been working on. It is a digital contactless menu solution, which they are rolling out to all of their current customers as well as new store partners that want to buy in on this. And it's basically a way of assisting brew pubs, restaurants, people that sell, well, really anything in a bar. It's a way of assisting them as they move towards reopening in a post-COVID-19 world. So basically, you may have seen this at bars. This was something I saw at certain bars even before all of this went down, but retailers can present their full menu in a digital format, so customers can access this through either a unique QR code or a URL, so you could just scan it on your phone. It'll open up the web page. You'll see the whole bar menu. And it eliminates the need for menu handling, but it also has the added benefit of having live updates. So, if a keg kicks or something is out of stock or something like that, retailers can update the platform in real time. So it's sort of a, I think pre-COVID-19, people were always like, well, what is the role of waiters, menu, customer service? How much are we moving towards automation, different things like that? And I think, a lot of people would argue you can't really replace face-to-face interaction in a lot of ways. So I'm not imagining that will ever go away, but we've sort of been pushed into advancement maybe before we were really ready to do it. But this is a nice way of eliminating, it'll save trees, it'll save paper, it'll eliminate issues of, we're out of that, different stuff like that, and have of course, its main purpose is that you won't have to handle a menu that somebody else has been handling. So
you can look at the menu on your phone, right?
Yes, that is the point.
How many people in these restaurants and bars, I'm calling it right now, are going to be like, it won't download, I don't have service. You know how many tech issues? Like, I hate to be the devil on the shoulder and the negative Nancy over here, but that's going to happen.
Bartenders are now tech expert. Well, what I wonder is,
they're now genius bars.
Those like hippie bars that were like, we don't have Wi-Fi here because when you're in here, you should be socializing with people, which I don't fully disagree with the concept.
LOL.
But now you can't do that anymore. It's like, we don't have Wi-Fi here. Well, I can't read your menu. So
what do we do it the old-fashioned way? Put everything in chalk on the board and look at it.
Well, I'm sure a lot of breweries will do that, but the ones, I've seen this before. Like there were World of Beer, where we went in Syracuse. Their menu is just so big they can't have it on the wall. It's like it's just hundreds and hundreds of beers. So it's like, so they used to have an iPad on every table where you could look at the menu. But I think that I've seen this in other places. I think it'll be a cool solution for a lot of bars, depending on their clientele. We're not going to see this everywhere, but Beer Board coming in to help, and it's much better than not having beer at all.
speaking of more beer, we've got a new brewery alert. Moniker Brewing is set to open full production facility and tap room in Rhode Island. So for all you Rhode Islanders, get ready because there's a new brewery afoot. The brewing operations are going to be headed by Jeff Goodnow. Over 14 years, Jeff has worked at a very small little establishment. You've probably heard of them, Victory Brewing.
What?
Where he was the head brewer. Yeah, that one.
Throwing it back.
That one with all the monkeys. It's really cool to see. Even with all the COVID bullshit, we've got some new growing breweries afoot, as I said. Jeff has helped over 30 other breweries around the country get off the ground, including an entire built out of Rhode Island's own Taproot Brewing Company in Newport. So, really interesting and really cool to see. Check out Rhode Islanders Moniker Brewery coming soon.
I love it. I feel like we absolutely need a new brewery alert drop. And I feel like we failed our audience for not having one before this moment.
So sorry.
You just said new brewery alert, and I just really wanted like a breaking news, like a yeah.
New brewery alert.
Potentially.
We don't need drops. We have me.
Potentially coming soon. This is the creative process live on the mics. This is how it happens.
You're hearing our process.
This is how it happens.
Steven!
I'm way ahead of you. I have a toast in mind already.
You look like I need a drink or a toast or both, so let's hear it.
Okay.
See, you like the jazz now. I got you on the jazz.
I've always liked the jazz. I just felt like you were hoarding it.
Wow.
Okay. This toast comes to us from Atlas Obscura. They polled their readers for some of their readers' favorite toasts back in July 2018, and this was one submission that I particularly liked. The wonderful love of a beautiful maid, and the love of a staunch, true man, and the love of a baby, unafraid, have existed since life began. But the greatest love, the love of love, even greater than that of a mother, is the tender, passionate, infinite love of one drunken sod for another. And this comes to us from Diana Dunkley of Kansas, who said, and I quote, "I think I first heard this from my sister's third husband, but I'm not positive."
Wow, there's a lot to dissect there, but I'm not going to. It was about love, and it was about drunkenness, and if that isn't the American dream, I don't know what is.
I just really loved her quote because it just the layers of indecisiveness in this family. I think I first heard this from my sister's third husband, but I'm not positive.
No, but I don't know.
Hilarious.
Awesome.
Genius. Thanks, Diana.
All right. We should start off with, as I mentioned earlier, one of the old classics of good old New Belgium. And if you know New Belgium, I'm sure you've seen this beer everywhere. I wouldn't say it's their staple, but it's a staple.
Well, it is. It's their flagship beer.
It is their good old-fashioned Fat Tire Amber Ale. And
Fat
if you know
Tire.
anything about me, love me some amber ales. I'm pumped for Tiz beer.
It is 5.2% ABV. IBUs are at 22. It is ranked at 82 on Beer Advocate, and Untapped gave it 3.58. Like I said, it is their flagship beer. It's been around since the inception of their brewery.
Also, can I just mention, why do I feel like it's been 8 episodes since we've shared a beer.
It really feels like it's been forever. I know.
We keep finding
it's so nice.
Stuff, but...
Well, sometimes we find beers, it's just like we just want to do so much about that brewery that we just could share a beer, but we don't. But it's great to share a beer with you again, Gabe.
Hey, to you and to us and to
cheers,
all those folks out there.
It is to look at.
Oh yeah,
it's a beautiful, clear, amber color. I don't want to shock you, but it is.
Very like oak color, like wood color, but like the light oak color. Not,
it looks like
too dark.
You know, in Jurassic Park when they find that fossil. And it's like preserved in that amber color. It looks like that. It's that color. It's like a 6, 7, 8.
You know, in the dinosaur movie when they find that thing, that's what the beer we're drinking. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It's clear. It's bubbly. I poured it into a pint glass.
Head retention not too prominent. Kind of dissipated quickly. A lot of lacing, though, I would say. Well, not a lot, but pretty good lacing around the sides of the glass.
Yeah, I don't have too much, but it's got some legs.
On the nose, caramel.
Yeah,
right away.
Yeah, I would say the sweet malt comes through immediately. The grain profile. We have pale malt, C80 malt, Munich, and Victory malts in there. And that's definitely what hits you first. There's caramel, like you said. I get some banana, some bread.
Yeah, I'm getting that the sweetness as well. Are you getting any citrus? I don't believe I am.
I would say I'm getting the sweetness
rather than like citrus.
I'm getting the sweetness, the honey, and then the fruit that I'm getting is like green apple. Like it's not citrus, it's like
right, it's not like orange and lemon.
An earthy sweetness.
Yeah.
With like I guess there's like a subtle bit of pine in the back, but it's like you can't smell the hops very much. Mostly what you get is a sweet smell coming off the nose.
Right. But I mean, it's, it does its trick. It looks amazing, and here we go.
Cheers.
Oh,
yummy.
It's so good. Yeah, it's great. Fat Tire's, like I said, it's always been a crushable, easy to drink beer. It's got a light carbonation, but it's got a lot of flavor as it goes down. The back end feel, you taste the malt, and it's just like overall like, just chilling. Hand me a beer, grab a Fat Tire.
I love this. I mean, it's the taste follows the nose, definitely. It's malt forward, but it's not as sweet as the nose. There's more bitterness there. I mean, the malt is the backbone, but you do get more of the hop profile. There's Willamette, Goldings, and Nugget hop in there. You get some grassiness, maybe some tea. What I love about this, though, is that I don't know. Last week we were talking with Victory. Is like we were drinking these beers, and I was kind of like, I mean, I think you could tell I was like into, like they were good, but they weren't great. Like it was just sort of like, I don't know. There was just something about it, and I was like, I don't know. Maybe it's just that it's not like bourbon barrel aged or like 12% alcohol. There's nothing blowing me away about this, but maybe that's fine. But like this beer is also none of those things. It's just a clear, fine amber ale, but I really like it. I think there's a lot of complexity of flavor in there, and I think it's a really well put together beer. And
it's like a very simple, like, how do I say this? Like it's visually it's simple, but then tasting it's very complex. Like it surprises you.
There's a lot of love for this beer on the beer forums, Beer Advocate, Untapped, Beer Connoisseur, and you really see why. It is easy drinking. It's medium bodied. The carbonation is present and there, but it's not too heavy. And it's just, it's like the kind of beer that you can just sit out, crush, drink,
at 5.2, it's, you can easily, depending on the kind of night you want to have, easily get 2 or 3 of these in without really, you can get that buzz, but I mean, it's easy to drink, and, it leaves you wanting more. And that's what's awesome about it.
It is their flagship beer. It debuted in 1991, and it was inspired. I mean, the whole company was inspired on this couple, Kim Jordan and Jeff Lebesch. Lebesch.
That one.
They were on a bike trip through Belgium, and their bike trip inspired New Belgium Brewing, as well as Fat Tire Beer, the bike that is a part of their logo, especially the logo of Fat Tire Beer. And they just believe that Belgian beers use a far broader palette of ingredients between fruits, spices, yeast strains, different things like that. They believe that the palette is just larger than that of German or English styles, so they kind of fell in love with what they found there, and then they brewed this, and then it won fans over pretty quickly once the company debuted.
And like I said, like this is so easy to find. Like anywhere you're looking for beer, all you see is the bike. You know exactly, because I don't think there's another company that really matches the art or matches kind of the logo and whatnot. And so, you can kind of pick it out of a crowd, which is great. It's fun. You can't go wrong with an amber ale, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's a great, easy drinking beer that doesn't compromise flavor. Delicate, subtle flavor, simple flavor that doesn't hit you over the head. But if you're someone looking for that really dank hoppiness, this isn't gonna fulfill that for you. But if you're someone who just wants to have a good beer and you want something that's like better than Coors, but not...
I was like, say it. Go ahead.
And
no, it will not make you fat. Fat Tire actually makes you lose weight. Wink, wink. Can we just start lying about all the beers?
We do not give medical advice on this podcast. Now that I'm drinking it, I am seeing the lacing. I was listening to a podcast with founder Kim Jordan, and she was talking about this beer and just saying, like, people were kind of like, you're crazy. I mean, this place, like we said, they were founded in 1991, so very early in the craft beer scene, around the time that Sierra Nevada and Anchor Steam are out there doing it. And people were like, you're crazy to name your beer Fat Tire. Like, who's going to drink that? And they said, we're taking a gamble. And then they laughed all the way to the bank.
Damn straight. Yeah, Kim Jordan has really made a name for herself, along with, running the company and changing new things every day. We'll get into a little bit of that later, but they've got their sustainability program, their beers, what they're giving back, how they're operating. The facility. Yeah,
it's beautiful. I mean, let's get into it. They debuted this in 91, and then it was kind of Kim and Jeff. They were married at the time, and Jeff wanted to start a brewery, and they began it in their garage. Kim kind of became the everything for the brewery. She's doing marketing. Yeah. She's literally, I mean, this lady at one point, she's like, they had to go to the Great American Beer Festival and they had to pour their own beer at that time. So she is pouring beer at the Great American Beer Festival on Wednesday. She's having her kid on like Saturday. And then they opened a new brewing facility or something like the following Monday. Like, this woman does it all. She's incredible.
That kid is going to grow up to appreciate beer so well. It's going to be awesome. At the time when they were at the Great American Beer Festival, they didn't have like a Belgium category, so they kind of had to like make it their own. They kind of had to like push their way in, but I mean, they did pretty well, obviously.
I mean, obviously the company, like we said, was founded in Belgium, but also Belgian brewing traditions are just inherently part of their company because it's in the name. So, but yeah, at the time in the 90s, there was no Belgian beer category at the Great American Beer Festival, and people weren't. Sierra Nevada is not a Belgian brewing company. Anchor Brewing is not brewing Belgian beers. These companies that were there in the early 90s at the beginning of the craft beer boom were not doing beer like this. By October 1995, the company had outgrown their initial facility. They moved to their current location in Fort Collins, Colorado at 500 Linden Street. They have since opened a brewery on the East Coast in Asheville, North Carolina, as well as some satellite facilities in the city of Denver. So they've expanded quite a bit. But 95, they moved to their current Fort Collins home. In January 1999, the bikes appeared.
Bikes.
This is a really cool tradition at New Belgium.
Yeah.
They for your 1 year anniversary at New Belgium, they gift every employee there. I can pause everything. Can I just say, I would give anything to work for this company. I love everything about how they treat their employees. It's just an incredible place to work. They were actually voted in like 2008 or something, like one of the top 50 places to work in America because of the way they treat their employees.
Oh, yeah.
They were employee owned for a long time. We'll get into that, but they really they believe in employees having a stake in the company, and they value all of their employees. And, like even Kim Jordan was talking about it and saying it's customary to give managers, directors, stake in your company, but it's not customary to give the forklift driver or the packaging center a stake in your company. But they wanted everyone to be involved.
Which is great because, they're kind of doing most of the heavy lifting, and it makes you want to get up and go to work. And so she really wanted to kind of give back to that in a way. And, the whole the tradition of awarding the coworkers with a cruiser on their 1 year anniversary still going on today. And that would be enough to get me to work. I'd be I get a bike. Yeah, I'll hang out here.
For your 5th year anniversary, at least as of like a year ago, I don't know if it's still going on, but I think so. When you've been there 5 years, you get an all expenses paid trip to Belgium to just go dick around, learn about Belgian brewing.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Wow.
For 5 years there, they send you to Belgium, and you can go visit the bar where the inspiration for the company came from. So, they just...
Steven, we got to start bumping up our resumes because we got applications to submit.
Apparently, it's like notoriously hard to get hired there because you have to go through rounds of interviews with like so many different people, and they have to... you're not just being interviewed by one HR manager. You're being interviewed by 60 people who work at the brewery who all have like a stake in you working there. And it's just what it leads to is a culture of people who really love what they do. And what I've heard from reading about the brewery, as well as from my family who have taken tours of the brewery, I wasn't there. But
I'm not mad about it.
I've just heard that you could just tell the employees are really into what they do. There's just a sense of pride, ownership, and that these people really genuinely love what they get up and come to work for. So,
real quick, oh my God, I have to say this very quickly. They have barbecue sauce. Steven, they have barbecue sauce. They have a Voodoo Ranger barbecue sauce. They have a Fat Tire barbecue sauce. They have a 1554 barbecue sauce. It's grilling season! Oh my God. That's another cool thing about the website. You can buy certain things. So you can buy the barbecue sauce. You can buy grilling stuff. You can buy glassware through the website. And that's where, doing the research about the beers we were drinking, they have all this glassware that you can get for your beer. This is incredible. Can we go?
Yes, we can.
I'm yelling. I'm sorry.
We can't visit the brewery because of COVID, but we can go. We did talk about on this podcast several months ago that they are not, so they were employee owned. They're not, as of last year, they did get sold to Lion Little World Beverages. The company had been 100% employee owned since December of 2012. Kim Jordan sold her company to her employees, and they ran that way until the end of last year. We talked about this already, but they were sold to Lion Little World from Australia. It's just it's hard to keep an employee-owned company running. They want to focus on sourcing natural ingredients and also their commitment to sustainability. To do that, they need capital, and this was just a decision that they, as a company, felt they needed to do. So it removes their distinction as a small and independent craft brewer, but employees are still very involved. And have
that's what's cool is they may have sold, but they didn't sell out.
Right. The employees still have a strong voice. They're having a strong voice in the deal. Kim Jordan was asked about it, and she said, as we surveyed the landscape over the last several years, we found that options to raise capital while being an independent brewer just weren't realistic for us. So some of the most widely used options by craft brewers were going to compromise a lot about what makes us great, such as environmental sustainability and a rich internal culture. So rather than compromise those things, basically, they now have the resources of Lion Little World, and that allows them to attend to, maintaining their priorities while also keeping the brewery running. So, it remains to be seen whether or not we will see that in the beer. Hopefully not. But it just in the spirit of transparency, we got to say it.
They've got some really great things going. Kim Jordan, look, girl, let's share one of these bad boys sometime.
Kim, let's have a beer. Come on. Apparently she does podcasts, so come hang out.
We'll send you an email or two.
Yeah, she like I said, she's a beast, man. I mean, if you listen to her talk and you just listen to her stories about her, raising her kids, running this brewery, doing all that she did, and then, her husband ended up stepping away from the brewery, so she was kind of doing it all. And I mean, also to be not only a leader in the industry in the 90s before it was a big industry, but also to be a female leader in this industry.
Yeah.
At one point she talks about there were basically 2 boards of like craft brewers, independent brewers, and she was not only the only woman on both boards, she was the only person to sit on both boards at the same time. So out of 2 boards of 15 people, she's the only person sitting on both, and she's the only woman on both boards combined. That's pretty incredible.
Kim Jordan's out there killing it for all of us, for all of our sakes. So hats off to her.
And they remain committed to sustainability as well.
Oh yeah, we definitely got to talk about this.
We see this in a lot of breweries, but this brewery, what I feel between the employee ownership and the sustainability and listening to Kim Jordan talk, this brewery is very Colorado. That's what it is. It's right. I mean, she talks about we wanted to see, it's kind of a great experiment. What would it be like to have a company that was completely owned by the employees? How will it function? What will it do to our work culture? And what a great place to figure that out in Colorado. But also,
everyone's nice and chill and just wants to have a good time.
Their sustainability, it's a huge part of what they do. They created an in-house sustainability department in the summer of 2003, and that would go on to establish the brewery as a certified B Corp, and a member of 1% for the Planet. They spearheaded on-site projects like the installation of their solar panels, which they did install a solar array on the brewery in 2009, which at the time was the largest private solar array in the state of Colorado. But also other things in addition to that, they're looking at how they manage their water and waste, what their emissions look like, where they source their ingredients from, where do the hops come from?
The energy they use, the hops that they get, what they can do to kind of plant their seed, but also give back to the earth at the same time. I mean, they're really conscious of it. And I feel like a lot of breweries are, and we've been seeing that more and more. And that's one of the things that we love, is to see the sustainability programs and to see how they're giving back and what they're doing for the environment and whatnot. I think they pretty much have it figured out at this point.
And their Asheville locations, in 2017, the Liquid Center, the brewery, and the distribution center achieved LEED Platinum, Gold, and Silver certifications, respectively. So LEED stands for Leader in Environmental, Energy, and Design. Again, these are buildings that, are designed with sustainability in mind. So they do things like, okay, we're going to have a lot of windows on this building because windows let in a lot of natural light. Therefore, we don't need to use as much artificial lighting. Therefore, we reduce our energy costs. Things like that.
Yeah.
And they have
subtle things like that.
Yeah, things that you may not necessarily notice when you're there, or maybe you do, but they're just like things you can do in the construction of a facility to reduce your carbon footprint down the line. And they got those distinctions. Platinum is the highest certification you can get, so they have one that's platinum, gold, and silver.
Should we drink some more beer?
We should. All right, I'm moving on to one of the beers out of their Voodoo Ranger series, and that is their Voodoo Ranger Juicy Hazy IPA. Now, they have a few different fat tires, and they have a few different Voodoo Rangers. They actually have quite a number of Voodoo Rangers. I could have gone with the regular Voodoo Ranger IPA. I could have gone with the Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA.
Damn.
Gabe mentioned their 1985. I have their Juicy Hazy. There are a whole bunch of them. This one promises bright tropical aromas and brilliant citrusy flavors. It is an unfiltered IPA. Comes in at an ABV of 7.5%. IBUs, we're looking at 42. On the SRM chart, it's about maybe a 6. It's pretty light, but it's like a nice orangey color, very opaque, as you would imagine.
It just looks like a clip art of a beer with the orange color and the head retention.
Yeah, it looks like orange juice or something if you like look past the foam on the top.
Yeah.
The head was a nice like eggshell head, retained pretty nicely, and it's got legs, definitely some lacing to it. Beer Advocate rated it at 88. Untapped users gave it 3.79. Now, the grain profile, we're looking at pale wheat and C80 malts as well as oats. And then in the hop profile, we got Citra, Cascade, Centennial, Simcoe, and Nugget. So a nice gathering of hops. But those Citra hops, I'm guessing those Citra hops are what is going to be up front and center.
I bet.
You know what hop is not in here though?
Oh wait.
Tettnang.
There it is. Yeah, I was trying to think of it. Tettnang. There's that no Tettnang in this beer. We don't have any. We got Simcoe, Centennial, and Nugget. Don't get me started on a southern accent. I'll do it. I'll do Larry Cable.
Stupid. Okay. Definitely citrus hops lead the way on the nose. I mean, you're getting all the citrus. You're getting the orange. You're getting the grapefruit. You're getting the grapefruit peel. Maybe some lemon.
Hey.
And maybe even some lime. And then behind that are like more tropical things. You can kind of sense like some sweeter citrus like pineapple and guava. It's floral. There is a pininess to it. And I'm not getting much of the malts at all. I guess you could maybe detect some caramel, but I think that's more just sweetness from the citrus. I don't really think I'm picking up the malts myself.
I think I know why you picked this beer, too.
Why is that?
Because of the artwork on the can. Each Voodoo Ranger has like a different, this skull guy's wearing something new, and this guy's got like this dope-looking Las Vegas gambling-looking jacket on with a hat with an ace card in its hat. And so I don't know. I feel like you saw that and thought, yeah, it's time to party. Grab this Juicy Hazy IPA and let's get it done.
I mean, the Voodoo Ranger series, the artwork across the board on the Voodoo Rangers, like, well done. I mean, like, we talked about the 1985. Like, it's really, he's a great mask. I mean, you know, I love their bike. I love the fat tire, but like the artwork on the Voodoo Ranger really takes
really
the cake.
Cool.
So on the taste, it is sweet, it is juicy. I think the bitterness comes through much more than it did on the nose, and because of that, what I get more in the taste regarding the citrus is like, again, that citra hop thing that's like kind of bitter. It's like grapefruit peel. It's like zest or something like that. Like, it's not like the straight up juice. It's not like drinking orange juice, which like when you smell it, you're like, oh my God, I'm about to drink like a tropical smoothie. And then you drink it, and because the hops are bitter, and this is in a good way, it's not that sweet. And that's good. It's not cloyingly sweet. It's sort of like nice and balanced. There's more bitterness to it. Tangerine, peach, maybe even a spiciness a little bit. So it's not a honey sweetness. It's more balanced by the bitterness in a really good way, in my opinion.
Are you getting more sweetness or more bitterness?
In the mouth, I get more bitterness. I mean, it tastes more like an IPA.
Is it heavy, or is it like balanced well?
No, it's well balanced. I mean, the carbonation's pretty low. It's medium bodied. It's definitely juicy. It's definitely like it's full in your mouth, but it's not. It's kind of easier drinking, honestly, than I would expect, and it does not taste like 7.5%. Really, it tastes more like 6% maybe. Like it. So that ABV, I feel like, sneaks up on you. It's interesting that the IBUs are only at 42 because I would imagine it to be a little higher than that.
Yeah, interesting.
And again, it's not like it's not a juicy IPA. Like it's not like a West Coast IPA or one of the really dank IPAs, even like Bengali or something like that. Like it's not that kind of thing. It's just that the citrus that I'm tasting is more like a dry, bitter citrus as opposed to what I got on the nose, which was like the tropical thing, the pineapple, the guava, all that. And on the back end, it kind of leaves you with a little bit of lingering citrus, but it's dry, it's clean.
Gets the job
It's
done.
nice, and it leaves you wanting more.
Season.
Summer.
Okay.
Maybe that's just because it feels right now. But like,
Yeah.
no, I don't know. Like in the winter, in the fall, I want stuff that's a little heavier. This is nice to. This feels like something I want to be out drinking on like Memorial Day or 4th of July.
Oh, okay. I like it. I'm with it.
Now, what you have, I'm really excited about because I would have loved to have my hands on something like this. This is something a little bit off the beaten path for New Belgium, so I'm excited for you to get into this.
I have the New Belgium Trippel, and that is the name. Trippel, that's it. The quote from New Belgium is, our Trippel has always been a big, beautiful Belgian-style ale. This golden beer opens with a bold blast of spicy noble hops, courtesy of Saaz and Hallertau Middle Fru, and gives way to the fruity aromas offered by our traditional Belgian yeast. Give Trippel a sip to get you smiling. ABV, we are looking at an 8.5. On the IBUs, we are looking at a 43. SRM chart, we're looking about between, I would say, an 11, 13-ish. It's a little different looking to you, Steven, on camera, but for me, it's just like orange.
It definitely does not look like it's packing 8 point whatever you said percent. It looks like
but it is.
It's hiding that in the color.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I've read a lot of reviews that it was like, yeah, you don't taste 8.5, and I love that. The yeast, as I said, it's using Belgian ale yeast. The hops are Target, Hallertau, Mittelfru, Saaz, and Liberty hops. The malts are Pale, Munich, and Pilsner hops. And the one really cool thing about this beer that it's really made with and spiced with is a lot of coriander. They're kind of known for it with this beer. In 2018, the U.S. Open Beer Championship, it won the gold.
Bang! Exclamation point!
In that category.
Swish.
It's got a strong, boozy bite to it, as I read about. Beer Advocate gave it an 86. Untapped gave it a 3.57. On the nose. Oh yeah, yeast. You smell it right away. It's easy.
Yeah, that's Belgium.
On the website it says sweet cereal, and I would attest to that 100%. It's got that kind of vibe and smell to it. It's got like a smell to it that it like's very spicy, but just a little, like just on like it like 10% spice. You know what I'm saying? Got those floral hop notes to it. The fruity banana, etc.
Yeah, I feel like you could just say Belgian and it all kind of like, it always comes down to similar profiles. Like it's always like banana, coriander, spice, yeast.
You know what this beer reminds me of? It's not exact taste.
No, I don't.
The Two Roads Road to Ruin double.
Weird. Not what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to say it either, but it's
interesting.
It's the bite to it. It's the overall mouthfeel. It's very, very, it's got that carbonation. It's very boozy. I will give it that. Like it's weird. It's like it's got a smooth start to it. It's crisp. and it goes down kind of warming in a way. It's everything it's described about online is correct. The head retention is very, very thin.
Is it piney like the Road to Ruin? Like,
yeah, it's
really?
very. And I think that's why I kind of taste it in this.
Wow, not what I would expect from a Belgian. That's wild.
Very yeast forward. It's a very Belgian beer. Like, if you like Belgian, this is what you're going to get, which is cool because that's what it is. Yeah, it does pack a punch, but I will say it was the first sip that packed a punch. Sips 2, 3, and 4. I sip quickly. 2, 3, and 4 were very like I was already used to it, and I think that's why people say it's like a little dangerous because you don't really get the 8.5 of it. I am drinking out of a what is this? This would be a
tulip glass.
It's like tulip and stem, but more tulip. So
tulip chalice hybrid situation.
This beer, definitely not a crushable. This is like kind of a session, like a sit down and enjoy kind of beer. But I did want to mention real quick about the label. The label on the Trippel is a reminiscent of it's 3 Greek-looking women who are holding a glass together. The artwork is a reminiscent of artist Sandro Botticelli's La Primavera. It's the 3 Graces, who are #fresh to death and are known for singing and dancing for the gods. We love our label, but we love what's inside the bottle even more. I love this especially, and I think God put this beer in my hands because I'm so into Greek mythology and like I love all that shit. Like I'm a Greek mythology like geek. So
I know.
Hearing all about it was like really cool, and learning about the different the artwork on the beer was really cool. But yeah, this beer is this is an appreciation beer, not a let's get drunk beer. Well, I mean, every beer is a let's get drunk beer, but you know what I mean.
It's an event beer, as I would say.
Beer. It's an event beer, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Belgian beers, this place has them for you. I mentioned their Fat Tire series, which includes not only the amber, but also includes their wheat or Belgian white, and then their Voodoo Ranger, which I mentioned a few of those. But they have so much more to offer. They have their Citradelic, which is a nice citrusy beer that I've seen around. They've got a sour IPA. They actually have a whole sour lineup. They have year rounds. They have limited releases. They have barrel aged situations going on. They have an Abbey Ale, the Trippel that you're drinking. They have a Terroir. They have a Creek. They have a Honey Orange Trippel. And they have all kinds of vintage beers too. They have their Belgium reserves, their Blender project, their Wood Cellar reserves. So New Belgium is so much more than meets the eye, and they have a partnership as part of their B Corp situation with Ben and Jerry's, and I'm deeply obsessed with it. I don't even know if this was a one-time thing and it doesn't exist anymore, or it does exist now and it's still a thing you can get. I really don't know.
Caramel brownie ale. Ice cream,
yeah,
and then salted caramel brownie brown ale. Get at me.
The beer is a brown ale. The ice cream is a brownie, salted caramel brownie situation. I am pretty sure, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure I've had this ice cream before. I
was gonna say, can you eat it?
I went on a tour of Ben and Jerry's years ago. I happened to be in Vermont. We happened to go do this, and I will never forget that at the end they give you ice cream, and I remember it was a alcohol ice cream. Now the thing is that Ben and Jerry's does have a bourbon ice cream situation, so it might have been that or this. Either way, every time I see Ben and Jerry's in any store anywhere, I always look to see if it's this beer-related one or the bourbon one, because I'm always on the lookout for it.
I'm going to start looking out for it now. I just learned about this, and I think it's so cool. I want to try the beer, but I want to try, like, is this weird? I want to try the ice cream and then pour a little bit of beer in the ice cream, make like a float.
Listen, It might be weird, but I'm fully here for it. It's a brown ale. The ice cream seems to make sense. It probably would be weird, but you only live once. I say we try it.
That's our next YouTube video. We made the Guinness video. Now we got to do this of us just eating ice cream with beer in it.
Before we go, I do just want to pivot real quick, and I want to talk about the Michael Jordan documentary for a hot sec.
The Last Dance.
The Last Dance on ESPN.
Oh my!
Now, if you have watched it already, good for you. If you haven't watched it already, you should go do it. I think that it's just like at
Spoiler
this point,
alert.
I just feel like at this point, any sport will do. Like it's like I would watch cockfighting if they would air it at this point. Or I'm kidding. Don't like come fucking attack me, PETA. But like at this point, if some guy would make like a YouTube video of his stuffed animals fighting each other, I'd probably watch that. I will take anything at this point. But this documentary was so epic and it was a little confusing at times because like the timeline does jump all over the place.
Yeah,
so
it does jump, but like as long as you stay in it, you kind of have to see where it goes. But
well, it's just like they would be like, well, this is his last season coaching the Bulls, and then they seem to cut like 6 years ahead, and he's still coaching the Bulls, and I'm like, I'm confused.
Yeah,
but
I just don't get why would you like. It's the plan is working. Just keep it.
Yeah,
why didn't you like this guy? You as the GM. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a great GM. He put this team together. Good for him. But as the GM, you're winning championships. Who gives a shit if you don't like the guy? You want a ring?
In defense, I was watching it and I just thought, okay, in fairness to that guy,
Jerry Krause,
he didn't know when he made that statement at the beginning of the year that things would pan out the way they did at the end of the year, and I bet he regretted it by the end of the year. But
I'm sure
I don't think he should have said it. But what I am hung up on is it's kind of wild because it's like it's obvious it's the 90s, so it's like all this archival footage, and you see these camera people like following them around. And I was just watching the last episode, and spoiler alert: the Bulls won their 6th championship. Like,
if you don't know that,
I don't know what to do for you.
Yeah.
But these cameras follow Michael Jordan into this hotel, and like, first of all, there's a piano in the hotel room, but the outside of it seems like a Sheraton or like a Marriott. Like, it doesn't seem like, it's not like he's in Vegas. Like, he's in Salt Lake City, Utah, and he's like walking through the hallways. They're like, is this the smoking floor? They're like, it is now. And I'm just thinking, like, is anyone else staying in this hotel? Because their whole night is fucked.
It's screwed. Yeah, they're screwed because the Bulls just won. Like,
Michael's just at this piano in the hotel, but like there's cameras and lights and paparazzi, and I'm like, did this guy ever shut off, or did he just have to be in front of the cameras all the time?
It's one of the, I think episode like 4 or 5, they really get into the fact that like he was so famous and so good at basketball that like he never, like, they showed him at one point in his hotel room with his feet up, smoking a cigar, just chilling, and he was like, this is the best part of my day. Just getting away from it all. Like, I feel kind of bad for the guy. Like, yeah, you're famous and you got money and all that stuff, but like, Jesus, like, get away from me. I want like 5 minutes to myself.
Well, I mean, I get it. They won the championship that night. It was just like, it was such a weird thing to watch because I was just watching it unfold, and I'm like, okay, they won the championship. Then they're in the locker room. Everyone's surrounding everyone. Then they're on a bus. Like, they all just get on the tour bus. Like, okay, field trip's over, back to...
Also, they let Karl Malone, who played for the Utah Jazz, the other team, he went on the bus to, like, show respect. Good game. He said it to all the players. Awesome. Great for you. I'm a little surprised they let him on, though. They were like, oh, yeah, come on. Like, wouldn't security be like, yeah, you don't play for us. Get off the bus.
But then this bus pulls up at the hotel, and then they all follow Michael into his hotel room, and then I guess he just stays up all night with the paparazzi, and if you're like staying in that hotel, you're just screwed. Like, I don't mean...
You have to deal with the noise. What's funny is, like, he was chilling with the paparazzi. I'm just thinking, like, where are your teammates? Like, wouldn't you want to be celebrating, like, with your team?
Well, Scottie Pippen was icing his back, so
dude. And the other thing is, as much as I knew, basketball is like my sport. Like, I fucking love basketball, and so there were only so many things I knew. Like, I didn't know Scottie Pippen was hurt during that game. Like, I didn't know he kept going out, and so it's, you're learning new things. I didn't know Steve Kerr got punched in the face by Michael Jordan. I didn't know that. I was like, holy shit! Like,
wait,
what's going on?
I have a question though. The scene, there's like a scene in the middle where somewhere in it, where Michael Jordan gets really sick before a game because he ate a pizza. But they made a big deal. They made a big deal about like 3 guys delivered the pizza, which was weird. Wouldn't you only need one? Were they saying Michael Jordan was poisoned?
It was 5 guys who delivered the one pizza, and it was food poisoning. Yes, it wasn't the flu. Everybody thought in history, it's been known as the flu game. So Jordan had the flu, and he still played, and he still scored like 39, I think, points to go on and win. And he got to be carried off the court by Scottie Pippen. It was like this great, great feat. And it still is a great feat. But in my mind, it's a little less knowing it was from a bad pizza.
Yeah, but my question is like, why? Like, yeah, I got all that, and it was food poisoning. Okay, but why did they make such a big deal out of 5 guys delivering the pizza? Like, are they trying to say that someone intentionally poisoned?
Yes, I think so. Why would
pizza?
5? Okay, you order a pizza. You order a single pizza for yourself, and 5 men show up and go, here. Wouldn't you be like, what's going on?
I have no idea, but I mean, like,
I think he was intentionally poisoned by the pizza shop in Utah because they wanted the Jazz to win so bad. I firmly believe that. And they still lost.
That's a lot. And I don't know. If they knew they were delivering to Michael Jordan, like, I guess I wouldn't be that surprised if 5 guys showed up just to see Michael Jordan.
Well, the thing that got me was the personal trainer was like, he was the one who said, I don't know if he said it to Michael at the time, but he said it when he was being interviewed for the show. He said, like, 5 guys delivering one pizza, something's not right here. And Jordan was like, screw it, I'm hungry, I don't care. And he ate it anyway, and then he got sick. So it's like, if my personal trainer was like, I don't know. But yeah, he powered through, and he scored however many points he scored, and they won. So good for him.
It is an amazing documentary, and it will scratch the itch that you have for sporting events right now. My favorite thing, I think, in the documentary was when he was going into the last game that he played, and they were just talking about, Michael Jordan's... People spend their whole lives just trying to be in the present. People go to gurus, people go to... And people do everything that they can just to be in this moment, be here now. And Michael Jordan, that was his gift, was that he was present here right now. Why would I worry about a shot I haven't taken yet? That was the most inspiring thing to me about it. And
it's just so cool to see because he just like, obviously he's one of, if not the best basketball player ever. And it's just like, I just like, how do you do that? Like, I don't know if you're born with that or if you develop that or what, but
this podcast would really have its legs if we were a sports and beer podcast. I think if we bring these two things together, we'll have the mother load that we need.
We said it a couple weeks ago when the NFL season starts. The news and notes is just going to be the recap of like that's
it's going to be football news and notes. Okay, in the news and notes, Cam Newton was traded to. We're going to have to devote a section to it where we're just like, listen, this is our fantasy football section, and if you want to tune out right now, we understand. It's for us, really.
One of the weeks, like if one of us has a bad week, it's like, friggin' this player only got me 3 points. Like, we're just going to go off about it.
One week, it's like, well, Gabe's not talking this week because he's angry about his fantasy league, so I'm going to do it myself, but he's here. He's just not speaking to you. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Once again, please follow, like, subscribe, and do all the things that we ask you to do every week. Check us out on the internet and
on the socials.
We'll be back next week with another great round of drinking beer.
Tell us what you want us to drink. We want to hear from you. We want to do this for you. We are so glad you all joined us. And with that, New Belgium, thank you so much. We are out of here.
Have a good week. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys.